Session was a little more insightful. I'm going to be a little lighter, so just enjoy yourselves while you hear out. Each one of you has had experiences in your life, and we learn from your wisdom, and that is what I'm going to do. I've had a fairly elaborate experience in volunteering, and I'm going to share my insights from my bag of experiences. Um, Before I begin, I'm going to start with a short quiz. All of you can look at this picture, right? Can you just explain to me what do you see in this picture? Like, if any one of you can raise your hand and tell me what do you see in this picture? Anyone?
Mahatma Gandhi is trying to promote Make in India.
Right. So I hear two things. One is Mahatma Gandhi is weaving the charkha. There are two aspects to this. The first aspect is it is a sign of civil disobedience movement, right? You are associating it with the anti-British movement, which was prevalent in those days. And yes, it is associated with Make in India, where Mahatma Gandhi wanted to propagate the produce of khadi within the country, so that we could stop imports from Britain, it's cheap imports from Britain. The other aspect is that he wanted to instill the value of volunteering within the community. He wanted to instill the value of discipline. He wanted to instill the value of punctuality. He wanted to instill the value of patience, because weaving charkha once a week, it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of discipline, punctuality. He also wanted to instill a sense of common purpose amongst the masses, right? So that is what Gandhiji was trying to do. Now the second picture is that of Lal Bahadur Shastri, right? In 1965, during that time when he was the Prime Minister of the country, two things were happening. One, India was fighting a war with Pakistan, and the other, India was facing a food crisis at home. So what he did was, he asked the people to skip a meal, so that the chronic food shortages that were in the country could be tackled. So the food saved could be used and distributed among the people of the country. Now, what I'm technically trying to say is that we don't need a Superman or a Batman to win wars or save our country or battle operation or it's all about the action of the masses. It's people like us who take these small steps, and we are able to win wars, we are able to battle oppression, and we are able to save our country and our community. It's like people like us. So who is a volunteer? A volunteer is a person who voluntarily offers himself or herself for a service or undertaking. Now, sometimes you may feel that to volunteer you need to attach yourself to an organization. You need to be a member of an organization, to do some service. But that necessarily is not the case. You need not put yourself at a higher pedestal to volunteer. For example, I can give you a very easy example. One of my friends, she cares for animals. Now, there are very limited number of organizations which care for animals. So she could not really be a part of such an organization, but she took steps at her end. She started nursing animals who were injured. She fed them. So that small step taken by herself was able to make a change, make a difference. So basically, volunteering is not doing different things in a particular manner. It is doing anything in any manner. You can take small steps and go out of your way to help others. So moving forward, let me just take you on a short journey of how this came about, how I started this process of volunteering, and along the way I will share my insights and experiences and learnings. I was working with a firm in Gurgaon, and they had this corporate social responsibility initiative where they had adopted a school. And I just raised out, I just put up my hand to tell them that, okay, I will volunteer. and it was a life-changing experience for me. So I went to a school and I had the opportunity to teach basic mathematics and English alphabet to the kids. Uh, so when I was teaching them, I had this great sense of satisfaction. You know, that internal satisfaction, a sense of joy, which stemming from within. And it was very thought-provoking. I realized that, a 2-hour per week commitment was making a difference in someone else's life, and it was not costing me anything. There was no cost, only, I was just devoting 2 hours per week. And the end result was I was becoming a role model for those kids. So that was a really thought-provoking moment, and before I knew, it became a part of my routine. So, I would look forward to volunteer, I would look forward to take classes with those kids. I would learn so much from them, and I would find joy in small things. For example, I would play a game of Ludo with them, and that would really make me happy. Similarly, how many of you cycle? Cycling is something we did as kids, and we don't really cycle anymore as adults. So I took up cycling and started cycling. So that gave me a lot of, I could relate back to my roots and to my childhood. So I could internalize happiness. So that was what was happening. And ultimately, when I took up volunteering, it empowered me to bring about a change. So that was really something which I looked forward to when I was volunteering. And during this process, at some point, I realized that I am a teacher to these kids. But what if I make a teacher out of them? What if they become a teacher and teach kids like them, who are unprivileged and disadvantaged? Nonetheless, I have this great sense of belief that I'm contributing towards serving the humanity. I'm contributing towards empowering and investing in the future generations that are yet to come. So I could see myself creating a ripple effect. So that became a dream for me. And even if that dream was not realized, at the end of the day, I thought that okay, even if that is not realized, I could instill some good values in these kids, and maybe they could go on to become better citizens and humanitarians in the world. So yeah, that happened. So while I was doing this Vidyadan, which my grandmother calls it Vidyadan, I was also learning life lessons from these kids. There were a lot of times which the kids taught me a lot of things, and I got to know. I went through this process of self-discovery, things which I had not known about myself, and the kids are the greatest teachers. They teach you so many things in so many different ways that it was really a humbling experience. So now I'm going to share a few life lessons which I learned through this process of volunteering. The first process, the first value which I learned was about leadership. Now, and being a role model. So, leadership was not plainly about leading adults; it was leading kids. So it was not an easy task. The kids have impressionable minds. They're impacted very easily. So I had to lead by example. For example, once I had not cut my nails, so the kids started telling me that you should cut your nails. Or how bhaiya aapne nails nahi kaate hain. So that was sort of a feedback mechanism for me to realize that how to become a better person. This is just a short example, but there are numerous other ways in which the kids tell me, okay, bhaiya jhoot nahi bolna hai, you're telling a lie, or do you drink or do you smoke, or should we smoke or should we drink? That sort of. So when you try to relate that to yourself, you sort of the truth comes out in itself, and you realize that you have to lead by example. You cannot fake anything or you cannot lie, right? So my successes and failures had a very deep impact on them. they could easily relate to it, and you could see expressions on their faces which told the real story that okay, he's not been able to clear this exam, or he's not doing good. So it will impact us also. So that was a sort of leadership experience which I experienced by leading this class of kids. If you look at this picture, they made me a Ravan. So that is not to say that I am Ravan to them. I am their gang leader, those are the 4 kids who I teach: Blessy, Ritu, Sunil and Solu. So they made me the gang leader, and this is just to tell you that how we had an open relationship, the kind of relationship in the classroom where there was a two-way communication process. I was telling them a lot of things, and similarly I was taking a lot of things from them also. I was imbibing a lot of things within myself. So leadership was a different sort of experience for me. Next, I'm going to talk about endurance. Volunteering is a very tedious business. It's a very slow process. The results are very hard to come by. There are intangible results. Say, for example, if you're teaching a kid how to read, it's a very slow process. As a parent and in a family, it's very easy when you have an oversight throughout the week, throughout the day. But when you have an engagement with a kid which lasts for only 8 hours per month, that is 2 hours per week, teaching teaching a faculty to them or teaching how to read, it's a very difficult process. So the results are very hard to come by. But even if these results are very hard to come by, we persist, we endure, we remain dogged. It's our tenacity which takes us back every time to them. Even if we are failing again and again, we keep going back and to solve this common problem of illiteracy in our country. I will share an experience with you. I'm not going to take the name of the kid. I'm going to call him M. So I teach this kid M this academic year, and he's 16 years old. He does not know how to read, write, or what he can do is he can just copy the alphabet directly from a notebook or from someone else. So we faced a lot of problems with this kid. A couple of months back, he was caught trespassing someone's house. So he was taken away by the police, and we had to sort of get him released from there. He was being incriminated under the juvenile law, and so we had to face those challenges. And last week itself, because of not going to school for a month, he was suspended from his school. So I went to his school and spoke to his teacher trying to find out the reasons why he was suspended and why he was not going to school. So we face all these kind of challenges, but still we are going there. We have this hope in ourselves that yes, we someday maybe he will snap out of whatever place he is in, and he will become successful. Similarly in life, I'm just trying to relate it to life. We give so many, we face so many challenges in life, but still, and there are times when results are very hard to come by. But still we have to persist, we have to endure. We must stay patient, we must stay steadfast, and we must keep enduring week after week, year after year. So that is the learning which I have from this process. One of the most interesting learnings which I have had is overcoming the fear of failure. Fear is something which we encounter on a daily basis. It stops us from doing things. It stops us from taking initiative. We tend to start procrastinating, and ultimately it leads us into this vicious sort of cycle where we keep saying no to everything, right? And out of all the fears, I think the fear of failure itself is one of the biggest fears. We keep thinking of the outcome, and we fail to put our best of efforts in that particular activity or whatever we are trying to do. And that fear of failure itself bogs us down. We don't take action, proper action, and that is what bogs us down. So from these kids, I learned that even if our circumstances are challenging and tough, we can still keep marching. We should never try to stop. Like for example, there was a kid named S, and he was dyslexic. Even though he was dyslexic, he would come up to us and say, please teach me this, please help me with this. So he was trying, even though he had the circumstances were not right. So I found out that to overcome fear, we have to pull out that last ounce of strength which we have within ourselves, to sort of which we subconsciously suppress, that last ounce of strength. We have to that is dying to say, I can do it. So we need to pull that strength out of ourselves to overcome this fear of failure or whatever fear that is there. Because I feel that no one is going to do it for us. It is only and only I who can do it.